carried for too long. Because the next place He is taking you to does not have space for old fears. You are not meant to carry anxiety into your new home. You are not meant to carry the weight of past disappointments into your new chapter. God says He is guiding you into a place that fits your soul like a perfect key turning in the lock. God says your new home is also symbolic of the emotional relocation happening inside you. You are moving out of the mental house where doubt lived. You are moving out of the emotional space where you felt unprotected. You are leaving behind the room where heartbreak echoed every time you remembered something painful. God says, you are not returning to those rooms again. I am giving you a new address inside your own heart. This new address is aligned with confidence, self-worth, peace, purpose, abundance, and divine protection. It is an address where angels guard every window, Archangel Michael stands at the door, and your spirit finally feels safe again. God says you have outgrown certain people, certain environments, certain cycles, and certain energies. You outgrew them quietly, slowly, without even realizing it. That is why you felt uncomfortable lately. That is why certain relationships felt heavy. That is why you felt disconnected from the spaces you once tolerated. You were not meant to stay there. God says your soul packed its bags long before your mind understood what was happening. And now He is revealing the truth. You are being relocated because your destiny cannot grow in the same soil that once suffocated you. God says your new home has laughter in the walls. It has miracles within its rooms. It has peace filling every corner. The home He is preparing for you is one where you wake up and feel safe before you even open your eyes. It is a home where your body feels light, where your spirit feels free, where your heart feels held. God says He knows how deeply you have needed a place where you can finally exhale. He knows how long you waited for a space that feels like yours. Not forced, not borrowed, not toxic, not painful. And now He says, I am giving you that place. Trust me. You have walked through seasons where you questioned whether God had forgotten you. You wondered if He heard your prayers, your tears, your silent cries at night. You wondered if maybe you were asking for too much. But God says, you were never asking for too much. You were asking for what you deserved. You were asking for peace, safety, stability, love, and comfort. And now I am giving it to you. Your new home address is a promise that your waiting was not in vain. Your pain was not for nothing. Every tear watered the ground you are about to step into. God says your new home is also a place of restoration. The parts of you that felt wounded will heal there. The part of you that felt overlooked will be seen there. The part of you that felt alone will feel embraced there. The part of you that felt tired will rest there. God says He is not just giving you a new address, He is giving you a new chapter, a new energy, a new level of protection, a new level of spiritual clarity. And once you step into this new place, you will never return to the old version of you. God says you will be surprised how quickly things begin to change. You will be surprised how suddenly He opens doors. You will be surprised how easily He removes obstacles. You will be surprised how fast He moves in your favor. God says the shift will feel like one moment your life was stuck and the next moment everything is flowing without resistance. That is how divine relocation works. When God moves you, He moves you completely, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and energetically. God says the home He is giving you is not small. It is not cramped. It is not dark. It is not something you settle for. It is a home that reflects the blessings He is pouring over your life. It is a home where you feel chosen. It is a home where you feel safe. It is a home where miracles come naturally. God says your new address is filled with light, light that heals, light that protects, light that grows, light that restores. Every room will carry a sense of divine presence. Every step you take inside will feel like walking on holy ground. God says He is also removing people from your path who would have contaminated your new environment. There were individuals whose energy did not match the place He is taking you to. There were people whose intentions were not pure, whose hearts were not aligned with your growth, whose presence would have interfered with your blessings. God says He had to distance you from them before He could reveal your new address. He had to clear your surroundings so that when He places you in your new home, nothing and no one can disturb your peace. This is divine protection, not isolation. God says your new home is also a symbol of abundance. For so long you felt like you had to fight for every little thing in your life. You felt like nothing came easily. You felt like you always had to struggle to receive even the smallest blessings. But God says, in your new season, things will flow. You will not struggle for what is yours. I am releasing abundance over you. Your new home is a confirmation that better is coming, better is here, better is unfolding. God says He is preparing a space where financial blessings flow naturally, where opportunities come to you effortlessly, where you no longer live with fear about your future. God says that in this new address, your heart will expand in ways you never expected. You will love deeper, but without fear. You will trust more, but without worrying about betrayal. You will give more, but without draining yourself. Your new home is a sanctuary where love enters freely. And God says He is sending people to you, people who respect you, people who love you, people who uplift you, people who support your spiritual journey. These connections are part of the blessing tied to your new home. You will not walk alone into this chapter. God says you may feel like you are stepping into something unknown, but He reminds you that even the unknown is safe when He is the one leading you. He says, I will be with you. Nothing will go wrong with you. Rest assured. You are safe. Every angel assigned to your life is already standing guard around your path. You are protected on all sides. You are being watched over, guided, and carried. God says He will not let your foot slip in this season. He says the home He gives you is blessed before you even enter it. Blessed walls, blessed floors, blessed rooms, blessed atmosphere. Your new home is surrounded by spiritual protection so strong that no negativity, no evil intention, no harmful energy can ever cross its boundary. God says this home is sacred, and you will feel it the moment you step inside. You will feel a warmth you cannot explain. You will feel a peace that settles deeper than anything you have ever experienced. You will feel a presence that tells you, "This is where I am meant to be." God says everything in your life is aligning for this next chapter. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Everything you lost prepared you. Everything that ended freed you. Everything that broke you strengthened you. Everything that confused you redirected you. God says He is proud of you for surviving what was meant to destroy you. And now, because you remained faithful even when life was heavy, He is blessing you in a way that no one can interfere with. God says this new home will be a place where you rise into your purpose. You will grow spiritually. You will receive divine downloads. You will hear God more clearly. You will gain inner wisdom that elevates your entire life. God says that peace is not just something you will feel, it will become your foundation. God says keep trusting Him. Keep praying. Keep believing. Your new home address is written in heaven, sealed with divine protection, and delivered to your life with perfect timing. Nothing will go wrong with you. God is with you now, He will be with you then, and He will be with you always. God says there are moments in your life when heaven decides that you are no longer meant to live where you once lived, think the way you once thought, or stand where you once stood. Today is that moment. God says this urgently and directly to you because you need to hear it now. Not later, not tomorrow, not after someone convinces you otherwise. God says, here's your new home address, and this is not about a physical building alone, but the golden place He is shifting your spirit, your destiny, your protection, and your abundance into. God says you are stepping into a home that carries His light in every corner, His love in every room, and His protection built into every wall. What was once broken, unstable, or unsafe is being replaced with something heaven-made, heaven-built, heaven-chosen. This message is not random, it is not accidental. God says this is for you and only you. God says the home you have lived in emotionally, mentally, and spiritually has been carrying too much weight. Too much memory, too much pain that you didn't deserve, and too much atmosphere created by people who did not want to see you rise. God says you cannot stay in a place where your soul keeps shrinking. You cannot remain around energies that keep your blessings trapped. A divine relocation is happening for you now, and God says it is urgent because your next breakthrough depends on it. The place you are moving into, both spiritually and literally, is a place where you will breathe differently, think differently, pray differently, and rise differently. God says, I am placing you in a home where negativity cannot enter, where your enemies cannot touch you, and where your spirit will finally heal from the things you never spoke about. God says He has seen every moment you tried to stay strong in a place that didn't support you. You tried to love in a place that didn't protect you. You tried to forgive in a space that didn't deserve your forgiveness. God says it is not your responsibility to stay where your peace keeps breaking. It is not your duty to remain loyal to environments that didn't honor your soul. You have been holding on because of love, because of fear, because of confusion, because you wanted to believe in people who showed you something very different from what they once promised. But God says now enough is enough. It is time to rise into something new. It is time for Him to move you, lift you, carry you, and settle you into the place designed for you before you were born. God says your new home address is peace. Your new home address is safety. Your new home address is abundance. Your new home address is stability. Your new home address is clarity. Your new home address is divine protection so strong that even forces sent against you will collapse before they ever reach your door. God says this is not just symbolic, it is literal. There is a change coming into your physical reality that will shock you because for the first time in a long time, you will feel what home truly means. Not four walls, not a roof, not an address written in numbers, but the feeling of walking into a place where your soul is finally allowed to breathe. God says the urgency in this message is because someone tried to delay your blessing. Someone tried to interfere with the movement God planned for you. Someone tried to whisper something against you, hoping your transition would fail. But God says nothing and no one has the authority to stand in the way of what He has already stamped with His seal. Your blessing has already cleared heaven's approval. Your relocation, spiritual and physical, is already scheduled. And what someone tried to block will now become the reason God accelerates the miracle. God says your new home will be filled with things you prayed for in silence. You will walk into rooms and feel a peace you haven't felt in years. You will sleep and not worry about what might happen tomorrow. You will wake up with a calmness that is not normal for you because for the first time in a long time, you won't be waking up in survival mode. You will be waking up in divine alignment. Your home will not feel like an obligation, a burden, or a battlefield. It will feel like a sanctuary. A place chosen by God, built by His timing, opened by His hand. God says He is giving you a home where people's jealousy cannot follow you, where past mistakes cannot haunt you, where old energies cannot disturb you. God says you have outgrown the place where you have been living. You have outgrown the conversations, the patterns, the disappointments, the cycles. And because you outgrew it, God is moving you out of it. You deserve more. You deserve better. And God says He is giving it to you now. God says, do not worry about how. Do not worry about when. Do not worry about the money, the timing, the process, or the opinions of people who never helped you. Heaven is not asking for your logic, heaven is asking for your trust. God says, I will be with you. Rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You just have to trust me and pray to me, because this move is heaven ordained. And when God ordains a move, every door that needs to open will open, every path that needs to clear will clear, and every resource you need will appear the moment you step forward in faith. God says this home is where your next chapter begins. This is where your blessings multiply. This is where the people who genuinely love you will come forward. This is where the healing you have been seeking for years will finally settle in your heart. God says the address He is giving you is not temporary, it is not unstable, it is not dependent on someone else's emotions or decisions. It is His gift to you. God says this new home will also bring new relationships, new opportunities, new peace, new miracles, and new clarity. People who once underestimated you will not have access to this new space. People who once manipulated you will not be allowed near it. People who tried to use you will not find the door. God says He is not only giving you a home, He is giving you protection around it. God says He is removing the burden from your shoulders. You are not meant to carry everything alone. You are not meant to cry alone. You are not meant to fight alone. God has been walking with you every step, even during the nights you thought He was silent. And now, He says, is the moment He reveals what He was preparing. God says this message reached you because your spirit has been waiting for this confirmation. You have been feeling like something is shifting, something is ending, something new is calling you. You have been sensing a change in the air, a heaviness lifting, a glow returning. That was not your imagination. That was God preparing you for your relocation. God says your new home address will surprise even you because it will feel like heaven placed you exactly where you belong. The doors that were once closed will swing open. The opportunities that seemed impossible will flow in. The support you prayed for will arrive. People who truly care for you will walk into your life at the perfect moment. God says this home will be the foundation of your new life. God says trust Him. Trust the move. Trust the shift. Trust the timing. Trust the protection. You are safe. You are covered. You are chosen. Nothing will go wrong with you because God Himself is guiding you into your new home. God says this message comes to you at a moment you didn't expect. But it arrives exactly when your soul is ready to hear the truth that has been waiting to reach you. God says He has seen the storms you have walked through, the places where you tried to smile even when your heart was breaking, the nights when you tried to sleep but your spirit was restless because you felt something was shifting, something was arriving, something was calling your name. God says there is a new chapter opening before you, and it carries a divine seal of protection, abundance, safety, provision, and a new beginning that your spirit has been longing for. God says the world may not know what you have endured, but heaven knows, and heaven has already prepared the next step for you. God says, here is your new home address, the place spiritually created for you, the place where peace surrounds you, where protection follows you, where blessings rise to meet you. God says what is coming next for you will not resemble what you have lived through. You are walking into a place that will make you understand why the past had to close, why doors had to shut, why people had to distance themselves, and why certain situations could not stay connected to your destiny. God says your spirit has been asking, where do I belong? Where will my heart feel safe? Where will my life finally make sense? And God responds today with gentle certainty. God says this to you in this moment, and it arrives as a gentle breath through your spirit, a quiet whisper that becomes louder and louder until your heart cannot ignore it anymore. God says, here's your new home address. I am leading you somewhere you have never lived before, somewhere safer, softer, calmer, and more aligned with the destiny I wrote for you before you ever took your first breath. And as these words fall upon you, something inside you shifts, because even though you do not know the place, you can feel the energy of it already calling your name. God says the home is not just a physical place, but a divine promise, a new chapter, a new environment where fear cannot enter, where old wounds cannot follow, and where a new version of you begins to rise with confidence, clarity, and protection surrounding you from every side. God says that in your life you have walked through storms that should have destroyed you, but you kept moving with faith even when you were shaking. You kept waking up even when your heart was tired. You kept believing even when life tried to silence your hope. And because of that, heaven has shifted something in your favor. God says that the address He gives you now is not written on paper, not delivered in an envelope, but delivered straight into your soul, a new place where your tears dry on their own, where your spirit breathes again, where your mind finds quiet, and where your future is protected. God says your new home is a life without the emotional battles you have been fighting for years. It is a life where peace is not something you chase, but something that surrounds you the moment you step inside. God says He has seen the places where you slept with stress in your chest. He has seen the nights when your current environment felt too heavy, too loud, too draining for your spirit. He saw when you felt trapped, when you felt like everything around you was suffocating your growth. And He says, I am removing you from that. I am lifting you out of the environment that drained you. I am relocating your soul. You may not see the physical change yet, but God says it has already begun in the supernatural realm. Heaven has already started rearranging the walls around your life, creating a path for you to walk into your new address effortlessly, peacefully, and with divine timing. God says your new home address has blessings waiting for you that you didn't even pray for. Blessings that fit you. Blessings that match your energy. Blessings that make sense with who you are becoming. For so long you have lived in survival mode, always preparing for the worst, always second-guessing, always waiting for something to go wrong. But God says, nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. I am with you. Rest assured. And when God says rest assured, He means let your shoulders fall, let your breath soften, let your mind release the worries it has carried for too long. Because the next place He is taking you to does not have space for old fears. You are not meant to carry anxiety into your new home. You are not meant to carry the weight of past disappointments into your new chapter. God says He is guiding you into a place that fits your soul like a perfect key turning in the lock. God says your new home is also symbolic of the emotional relocation happening inside you. You are moving out of the mental house where doubt lived. You are moving out of the emotional space where you felt unprotected. You are leaving behind the room where heartbreak echoed every time you remembered something painful. God says, you are not returning to those rooms again. I am giving you a new address inside your own heart. This new address is aligned with confidence, self-worth, peace, purpose, abundance, and divine protection. It is an address where angels guard every window, Archangel Michael stands at the door, and your spirit finally feels safe again. God says you have outgrown certain people, certain environments, certain cycles, and certain energies. You outgrew them quietly, slowly, without even realizing it. That is why you felt uncomfortable lately. That is why certain relationships felt heavy. That is why you felt disconnected from the spaces you once tolerated. You were not meant to stay there. God says your soul packed its bags long before your mind understood what